Welcome to your first ever Shakespeare Shakespeare monthly behind the scenes video. So, as usual, hello, I'm Lizzie. I am going to be comparing and gluing together some video contributions from the cast. First, responding to our production of Antony and Cleopatra, which was January's main play, and then a couple of them responding to the scenes that we did a couple of weeks later. I'm not going to say too much. I'm going to do a little view from Prompter's Corner at the end of this. To introduce Antony and Cleopatra, I can say that from Prompter's Corner point of view, that was one of the technically glitchiest plays I think we've ever done. And I don't know why it happened. We can't work it out. Just people didn't hear cues, and a scene got cut. And people came and left when they weren't supposed to, and all the parts were correct because I did check. So that was just a strange thing that seemed to beset us. Although I really do hope you enjoyed the deliberate creative choice that when the music under the stage was due to play and the watchmen all hear it, and it's the music and it's Hercules leaving Antony, this was a creative choice that we actually made, that nobody would hear it except the watchman, apart from that was supposed to play, and there was some kind of glitch on the sound, which I believe Alexandra has looked into, and we think we can make sure that doesn't happen again. But it was things like that. Anyway, here are Charlotte, Simon, Geraldine and Jenny to give you a few insights on their experience of Antony and Cleopatra.
Hi, we just finished Antony and Cleopatra and I played Octavia Caesar. Bit knackered. I just have a theory that Caesar was really in love with Antony, and I mean it's obviously he really admires him, but I just think they should have been together. And we had some fun cues that it's really hard when you're in the Zoom space to sometimes get, because a goodbye one and somebody has another line, you would be off the stage, but so you'd be like, oh, I'm still here. And there was a nice one with Octavia, my sister, where my good night comes in or my fare you well cues her. But we had a moment, I think it would have been better if she said I said farewell, she said her line, then I said the next one again. But we had a moment where we looked at each other, and I think we were a bit like, who's going to say? And then she let me go because I had maybe more status in the scene, ruling the world. So it was an interesting moment. I don't know if any of this is interesting for you. I really loved watching it. I love all those characters. I love how Shakespeare does that, comedy gag farmer, and then Cleopatra brings it back. It's such incredible writing. And he sort of plays with that tone of ridiculousness, and then managing to make them these epic lovers. Very cool. And thanks for watching, I guess. Bye.
So we've literally just finished our performance of Antony and Cleopatra this afternoon, or this evening as it now is. And one thing I've been reminded of that I would like to pass on, this little gem, don't let anybody tell you that it is easier to have smaller parts in something. It is a complete fallacy. It's almost easier if you've got lots of lines and you've got lots to do, because you can allow the emotional energy of that to sort of keep you going. You've got some real momentum there. If you've got smaller parts and several of them, you kind of have to keep parachuting into scenes and hit the ground running. And it's also hard if you've got not much time between different characters, particularly on Zoom, to get changed and rename yourself and be listening out for your cue. So it's very much in line with something Stanislavski, I think, said, which is that there are no such thing as small parts, only small actors. You all have a purpose to serve, or in theory, the playwright wouldn't have written the character. So you're there for a very good reason, and it's often difficult just sort of jumping into the thing and then suddenly becoming active. And if you don't have the advantage of the the scene that you've just done, where you had loads to do, to sort of then propel you forwards. It's sometimes much more difficult to just sort of parachute in and, as I say, hit the ground running. So if you've got a small part, you are still important. Remember that.
So I played a couple of small parts in Antony and Cleopatra, Camillus and Dolabello. And I thought it was interesting because, well, apart from the fact, as so often, they were on in adjacent scenes, but they're really different because Dolabello is like a political operator, but he's sort of Caesar's gopher in a way. And Commodius is a soldier, like a really quite hard-boiled soldier, and while he was devoted to the old Antony, he's a bit horrified at the new Antony, and when Antony won't take his advice and insists on fighting by sea and is defeated, and he realises how much Cleopatra is running things, he decides to leave. I mean, loyalty is a big currency in the play, and Enobarbus has a big struggle with that. But Commodius it's Commodius saying he's going to leave Antony, that gives Enobarbus the first idea that, yeah, he could do that too, I think. Or maybe I'm wrong about that, but it's part of the picture. And then Dolabello doesn't leave. He is loyal to Caesar, but he is responsible for Caesar not getting to finally triumph over Cleopatra as he wanted. He basically doesn't do his job and goes back to Cleopatra and tells her what the boss has got planned, which nobody really kind of notices he did that. But it's quite cool. So it's quite fun playing both those parts, and that they're so different, even though they're not really, you don't think of them when you think of the whole play, but they're very typical of the sorts of honourable and dishonourable people who crop up.
Hi there everyone, I am talking from a very misty Mothercombe Bay in Devon. Really enjoyed last night, it was great fun playing with everybody. The jacket that I was wearing when I was playing Lepidus, that used to belong to my father. I think it was one of his cricket jackets, and he died in 1984. So it was a little secret memento to him. Thanks everyone, bye.
So those are the company thoughts on Antony and Cleopatra. The fact that there is never any such thing as a small part, only a small actor. And small parts are actually very scary. Everything that Simon said rang so many bells with me. Yes, this is absolutely true. You have to dive onto a script. You don't get a warm-up. The small characters, they still appear as whole characters, at least as far as possible. That's what we try to make them into, because they're people, and it makes it much more fun. And the same goes with doubling. Always try and make, when doubling casting is going on, if you're playing different parts, it's much more fun. It's more fun for the actor because you get to do so many more things. So those are some little things to think about, to know about behind the actor's kind of facade, if you like. Now we've got a couple of reactions to the scenes that we did a couple of weeks ago. We have Linda and Dewi giving us their thoughts on what that was like this month.
Hi guys, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. I had a load of fun. I played Charmian, I played the Lord Chamberlain, I played Clarence and Queen Elizabeth. All lovely characters. I love the words, I love what Shakespeare gives us. To me, I always say he is a gift, and especially through these weird times that we're going through for these last couple of years. Anyway, who did I enjoy the most today? I think it was Lord Chamberlain. Yeah, he's a middleman, isn't he? Hey, yeah, and I do think sometimes we need to watch the middlemen very carefully. Have a lovely afternoon.
So, it's the evening after doing the Zoom call with Shakespeare, the Zoom performance. and I was in the earlier showing today, 3 o'clock, and I got to play Anthony, which I've never done before. And I also got to play Richard III. And I've done some of those Richard scenes before, one of the scenes before, the second one. It was great to come back to it. What was interesting and what surprised me about performing the first Richard scene, which was in Henry VI Part 3 towards the end, was Richard gets talked over a lot. I noticed a few repeated cues. Now, repeated cues are always fascinating to me, and I know they're always fascinating to Lizzie, but in this, I guess I'm surprised because it shows something of the change of Richard's status. That really occurred to me, because he's much more sort of snide and a much more kind of peripheral figure in Henry VI Part 3. I think that was really interesting to see. And then for playing Anthony, actually Anthony's somebody I'd like to have another crack at, because I think there were some of the things that I was doing where I felt his status was a little bit low, actually, and I think that some of the text doesn't really support that. His status is challenged by Cleopatra, but I think that particularly in the moments with Enobarbus, his status needs to be higher, and that's for me to sort of reflect on and to pursue with the text itself. So anyway, that's what I felt performing it. Thoroughly enjoyable, as always, and lovely to play with that great team from Shakespeare.
Well, that's what the company has to say about what we did this month. What's been going on behind the scenes for me? What's been happening in Prompter's Corner? I had to make a list, because quite a lot. I have, well, apart from seeing Antony and Cleopatra through performance, I have prepared and cast Coriolanus, so that's what's coming up next, February the 6th. I have checked all the parts for Titus Andronicus, which is our March play, because I prepared those parts before Christmas when I was not well with COVID, and I'd made a few mistakes, so that's all been checked. What else have I been doing? I've started the same process. I'm checking the parts for Pericles. I've already prepared the book script for Romeo and Juliet, which is our August play, because I'm always ahead. And I'm beginning work on Othello, which will be coming up in September. So a lot of things going on for me. I'm always, because the prompter is responsible in between plays for making sure that everything is cast, that the cast are happy, that everything is prepared that needs to be prepared, and again I cut up the parts. Happy, I do enjoy it. So that's basically what's been going on for me. We hope you've all enjoyed your month with us. We look forward to what February brings, and we look forward to seeing you all in our audiences again. Thank you so much again for all your support. We really do appreciate it.